So for the June 2019 Great Film Throwback Day, we're going to talk about a movie that is not as old as most of the movies that I've been reviewing in this segment, but it is one of those movies that was around during my youth, and it's one of those movies that I had avoided seeing for so long. And it's quite crazy because so many people are absolutely shocked when I tell them I had never seen the Billy Crystal comedy classic City Slickers, also including Daniel Stern, Jack Palance, and if you actually look very carefully, a very, very young Jake Gyllenhaal. So this movie is the story of a guy named Mitch, who is an average New York guy living an average, decent life in New York City, but now approaching his 40s, he's reached a midlife crisis, and he really doesn't seem happy. He likes his job, he does appreciate his wonderful, loving family, but he still feels that there's something truly missing in this world. So him and his two best friends, Phil and Ed, are guys that like to go on these crazy vacations for the sake of capturing their youth. So this time around, to celebrate Mitch's birthday, his friends decide to get him a 2-week vacation to a cattle drive, where they go from New Mexico to Colorado with a herd of cattle, basically being out in the wilderness and enjoying themselves in nature. So this is known to be one of the great comedy classics of the last 20 to even 30 years, but it's just not one of those movies that I ever got around to seeing, and I've got to say, I am so upset that it took me so long to watch this movie, because I did not expect it to be as funny as it was. Right in the first 10 minutes, you see these three guys participating in the legendary Running of the Bulls in Spain, and I'm just laughing my head off right out the gate. The jokes are on point, the physical comedy is fantastic, the story moves beautifully, and all Billy Crystal's jokes, especially with his sarcastic sense of humor, is without a doubt some of the most perfectly timed comedy that I have ever seen in a comedy, period. I mean, whenever he says his famous line, "Hello," I just laugh every single time because it's just that funny. Jack Palance, who is also known as one of the greats in acting, who plays the villain, plays a anti-hero, if you will, who is a guy that is part of the cattle driving group, and he is one of these true man's men, and he is trying to some extent, even though he can be intimidating, teach these guys what it is to truly be a man, and more importantly, to truly find happiness. It's not necessarily something that's handed to you, it's something that you have to work for, and it's something that you have to discover for yourself. And everything that could possibly go wrong on this vacation does go wrong, and Mitch finally realizes what he needs to do, not for the sake of just getting the herd from New Mexico to Colorado, but also trying to find that happiness and that spark that has been missing from life for so many years of his own life. It is such a fun comedy. As I said, the comedy is top-notch. I love the characters. They work off of each other so well, and there are also so many great character actors in this movie. I may not know them by name, but I do know them by face, and they all played each of their roles beautifully in this movie. I will have to say, if there's anything negative that I could say about this movie, is I felt that the ending was a little bit rushed, because after all the craziness that goes wrong on this trip, the fact that they managed to just get their bearings together and get to the final destination point for these cattle is just something that didn't seem to be on the same pace as the rest of the movie. And of course, the best part of this movie is the relationship that Mitch has with this little newborn calf named Norman. It is just the most adorable thing in the world, and the ending will definitely make you laugh even harder. Is this a movie that I would like to see again? Yes, I definitely would watch it again if I had the chance. Is it a movie that I want to see on DVD? Well, I've got to tell you, probably not. It's not that I think that it's a bad movie, it's just not one of those movies I could see myself just watching so many times, time and time again. I mean, it is a great comedy. I now understand why people love it so much, but I just don't see myself watching it as often as some of the movies I already have in my collection. But I would highly recommend this movie. Once again, I cannot believe it took me this long to finally see this this movie. Ironically, I am almost the same age as Billy Crystal's character in this movie, and that's what makes it even more of a crying shame. But I am gonna say, if you've never seen City Slickers before, you will totally enjoy this movie. It's one of the better comedies that I have ever seen, and I also love the fact that you don't need to be so raunchy and so extreme to experience a great comedy movie, and City Slickers is definitely one of those that will stand the test of time. I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below, and let's discuss City Slickers, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.